recording. So Erin and Devin, take it from there.
Hi, we are going to gather here today to do mediation. We heard that you guys had a problem. You referred to us by one of your teachers. I'm Devin Edwards. I'm your lead mediator today. Our co-mediator today is Erin White.
Hi.
She'll be helping me out, and we're going to come to an agreement on you guys' issue. We're not going to give any advice. We're just trying to help you guys work this through. Erin?
The whole process of the mediation is to help you to come to a solution yourselves. We're not, like Devin said, we're not here to give advice. We're here to just facilitate the process. Mediation, it basically is you guys are doing all the work. So we just want you guys to come up with a solution and, make sure that everything works smoothly for you. This process, it is 100% confidential, so it's very important that you have no one inside the room with you, that, no one can come and interrupt you and disrupt you, that, you are by yourself and that you can keep this 100% confidential. You cannot tell your friends, your parents, family members, anyone. This is very strict policy.
Okay. May I be allowed to lock my door?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
I have a question too.
Go ahead.
On average, how long does this take?
As long as you guys would need to take, hopefully not too long, and we want things to work for you, we don't want to pressure you on a time schedule. So just try and work the problem out as best you can.
Okay.
And so, bouncing off what Erin said, everything here is kept confidential except for things harm to yourself, harm from others, or harm to others. So we have to tell somebody. Drugs, alcohol abuse, anything like that, we have to tell our supervisor. So anything else other than that is kept to ourselves. We won't be telling anybody else, right, between us. We're going to just talk through the issue, like I said before. We're not going to give any advice.'re not going to tell you guys what to do. We're just going to try to help you guys find an agreement.
Do you guys think you need any extra rules, anything that, may come up that you think needs to be addressed?
Is there going to be any suppression as if someone gets angered or so in the mediation?
Yes. If something were to happen where, emotions are getting elevated and, you guys need to take a time out or something, we can make that possible. We can, talk to you one-on-one and, let you cool down and take a pause and, then you can come back together and we could all finish the mediation as a group.
Right.
Okay.
Just bouncing off what Erin said, if something does happen where you think, oh, I need to tell just them alone, just tell us and we'll go ahead and put the other person on hold real quick and you can talk to us and we'll bring it back to the group. One more rule, since we're online, talk one at a time talking or else we can't hear anybody. So that goes for me, Erin, everybody here just one at a time. And try to address people as their names when you're talking because like I said, we're online, so we don't know who's talking to who. So we can go ahead and get started. Let's hear from Jada first. What's the situation?
Okay, so basically a few weeks ago, this happened at school. I was in class and we were taking a test. And of course, as you know, when you're taking a test, all electronic devices have to be put away. And during the test, I'm a slow test taker. So I was one of the last people to I had placed my cell phone into my purse. It was an open purse, not zip type. It was open, but I just placed it there beside me. And Sam sits right behind me, and I noticed he kept getting up. He kept getting up during the test, and I'm just trying to focus on my test. And at the end, when I finished, I noticed my phone was gone. And with some investigation, we did find out that Sam took the phone, and he denies this. And now me and Sam are no longer friends because I felt violated and that he took my property from me. In a supposedly safe environment. And I'm completely upset about it. I'm baffled by this behavior. I thought his character was completely different. I can't.
All right. So what I'm hearing from you is that you had your phone out during the test. You put it away and didn't zip it up in your purse. You just put it in your purse, thinking it'll be okay. test is over, you come back and look, see your phone is gone. You know you put it in your purse because you sit on top of the purse, kind of. Who did you hear that your phone was taken from by Sam?
Well, multiple people in the class, and I mean, they weren't really necessarily my friends, but they were like, well, he kept getting out. Maybe he took it. I think he took it. I saw. So it was really word of mouth. But at the same time, I addressed him about the situation, and he's yet to talk to me or give me any type of comforting words or an apology or any type of hints to whom could have done this to me. So I feel like I have no choice but to, I guess, make the assumption, if you will, that he took my cell phone.
Okay. So Jada, I heard you say that you heard from people in your class, your classmates, say that they witnessed him taking your phone, and you said that they may not be your friends. Do you think they're credible witnesses? Can you actually believe what they're saying? And over what Sam has been saying, he has been denying that he took it. Can you believe what these witnesses are saying over his point of view?
See, that's the thing. I don't think they're 100% credible, but at the same time, if I come to Sam to talk about this situation, because this is my friend, Sam is my actual friend, I feel like he would be the credible source. And if he took it, hey, yeah, it was a joke, or hey, yeah, I took it, I'm sorry, I didn't get any of that. Sam completely shut down on me. He refuses to speak to me about the situation. Therefore, I just feel that I have no choice but to believe everyone else. So.
Okay. Yeah, we hear you.
Let's go ahead and hear your side of the story, Sam.
Well, the thing that Jada ceases to notice is that the reason why I kept on getting up during classes because I kept on having to blow my nose because I just got a brand new cat. And I didn't realize that I was allergic to the fleas that are in the cat. I had just seen my doctor. But I don't know. I don't even know who told you that I took your phone, but I wasn't anywhere near your phone. And we are friends. And I don't understand why you believe that I would take your cell phone, but I don't understand why I earned this distrust from you, and that how it wouldn't ever be anyone else, like the person sitting next to you or possibly someone else that was getting up. The people I don't know that you asked that said that I kept on getting up in class, I guess didn't notice either that I kept on blowing my nose or that I've had almost basically a cold for the past few days. But
okay. Well, Sam, we hear you say, that it hurts you that Jada, accuses you of this crime. How did it feel? How does it make you feel whenever you hear her say that she's been violated or betrayed, and she felt like, you guys risked the friendship?
Well, it makes me feel betrayed as well because I didn't steal her cell phone, and it makes me feel betrayed knowing that she would just automatically believe that it was me just because I'm friends with her, I know her, and random other people in the classroom said that I would do that. I feel like I've been betrayed as well because she wouldn't trust my actual insight. And at the time, I realized I didn't say much to you about it, but the reason why is just because I was feeling awful and I had to go home. I realized I should have said more to you about it, and I shouldn't have shut down on you, but I just needed to go at the time, and I wish you would come to me previously about going through the mediation process. I would have told you exactly what had happened.
All right. So what I'm hearing from Sam is that he feels like you're just like taking this really to heart, even though it wasn't him. Is that correct, Sam?
Yeah.
And that he wanted you to come to him before coming to us or going to a teacher or something like that. Now, Jada, did you go to Sam prior to this mediation? Have you spoken to him about this conflict?
I mean, that day of, I did attempt, and as he said, he didn't really say much about the situation at hand, which led me to believe the accusations of the other people in the class. So I did attempt to speak to him, but I also do realize that I see his point in a sense of where he had to go, and he had a reason behind that.
Okay.
Right. So, Sam, this leads me to a tough question to ask you. Do you have Jada's phone?
Yes.
I knew it. I'm upset. I don't want to do this anymore.
Now, upon this answer, Sam, why would you have taken Jada's phone in the first place?
Well, the thing is that I didn't steal her phone. I didn't bring my calculator in that day, and I didn't have my phone on me either because I was feeling terrible that morning. I grabbed 2 books and ran out the door because I was about to miss my bus. But I was going to tell her that I had her cell phone and I was going to give it back to her, but as I was using the calculator application on her phone, I noticed that she'd been messaging some people that weren't very good people, and I was worried about it, and I wanted to look more in depth for it, but I understand that I was wrong. But I never stole your phone. I had complete intention on giving it back to you, but I just
Okay.
I didn't know what to do after I had done that, and I felt bad about it.
Okay, so in the end, you did have the phone, Sam, but why did you feel the need to, lie to Jada and deny that you had it, even if, you had good intentions behind it? You could have told her, hey, I used your calculator on the test, it was on your phone, and then I saw some things, and hey, I'm worried. What was going through your mind whenever you decided to lie to Jada?
Well, I know Jada, and we've known each other for a while, and I understand that Jada is a strong, independent woman, but in the same senses that the people who she chooses to hang out with aren't very much of my control that I may have over her being her friend, and I understand that. But I wanted to see how far exactly she would take it, just to see if the accusations on me were correct, and they were, but at the same time, I was just looking out for you.
All right. So Jada, with this information that we just heard from Sam, how does that make you feel towards him?
I am absolutely hurt right now. I am beyond shocked, but then I cannot be, because I had a feeling that this was truth all along, but it's the fact that it was dragged out this long, as well as just with a small conversation about, him not feeling well. And even though it was true, for just a small second, I was portrayed as the one who was overreacting. And I felt like my emotions were not taken into consideration whatsoever. The fact that when I'm a female and my phone is important to me, I have notes, I have photos over 1,000, I have messages on there. I have so much on my phone, and it's just like I never thought it would have gotten that serious. And I would have thought, as my friend, one of my closest, he would understand what that did to me emotionally, knowing that it would have felt like I lost so much, so many memories, so many notes, so many reminders, stuff on my calendar and my job schedule. I'm completely hurt, and I don't know what to say to Sam. I don't think I want to say anything to him.
All right. So, Sam, now that you know how Jada feels about this whole situation and how it really affected her outside of just you guys' friendship, how does that make you feel towards her in this situation, in your actions?
I understand how you feel, Jada, and I should have just told you straight up that what had happened, but I panicked, and I wasn't feeling good, and I just didn't know what to do. And I had full intention on giving your phone back to you. I had full intention on giving your phone back before you'd ever noticed it was missing, but I didn't know what to do, and I needed more evidence to make sure that you were or were not going down this path with hanging out with these people, just because we both know them. We used to make fun of them, and it's just like now. I mean, I understand that they get along and they know everybody, but at the same time, they're not the people you need to be hanging out with. And I understand that your phone is very important to you. I was going to give it back to you as soon as possible. That's why I asked that you would come talk to me first. But I mean, I understand that you might be feeling uncomfortable about that, because I didn't normally talk to you how I usually would earlier today when you confronted me about the phone. And I'm sorry. I want the best for you, and I didn't know what to do at the time.
So what I'm hearing from Sam is that Jada, he had your best interests at heart. He just kind of got caught up with everybody else finding out about your missing phone, rumors spreading really quickly, and he just didn't know what to do about it. Is that correct, Sam?
Yes.
So I feel like he just felt the pressure that if he was going to tell something really bad was going to happen to you guys' friendship. And from what I've been hearing is that you guys have been friends for a while. It hasn't just been a new friendship. So I feel like he was afraid that he was going to lose the friendship. Is that correct, Sam?
Yes.
All right. Aaron?
Well, after hearing each other out, talking it and, getting your emotions out, what do you feel that you need to resolve the situation to hopefully repair the friendship? Jada, what do you think you need from Sam in return?
First and foremost, I feel like I need my phone back. I also feel like I need an apology, but I also need space. I need him to respect that and the decision that I'm making right now to distance myself as a friend with him. And I mean, hopefully with time, we can get back to where we were, but a lot of trust was lost with this situation at hand, and I need him to understand that.
Sam?
I understand. I just want to stress to you, and I'll give you the phone back as soon as possible. And I understand that you want your space, but I just want you to understand that just the thoughts that went through my mind when I saw that you might be affiliating yourself with people that we always knew that were never like us, that would never be able to fit into our crowd just because they weren't like us. They were rude people. And I want you to know that I care about you, and I wanted to make sure that you were doing the right things to focus on school and what you should do instead of focusing on other things that don't really matter. And I'm sorry. I do apologize, but I wanted the best for you, and I just was worried about you getting into the wrong crowd. I'll give your phone back to you soon.
I hear that you both have a mutual understanding of what you both need and that you both are willing to, try and work things out. Do you think maybe the friendship could, start over? You guys could be friends again, hopefully in the future? Do you think that would be possible?
I think it would be possible, but just not right away.
I understand you need your space.
And Sam, we're just glad that you actually do have the phone, because usually in these kind of situations regarding stolen property, we have to have a higher authority involved. So we're glad that you have it in your possession and that you can directly give it to Jada, so then we don't have any more issues with legal issues or with law enforcement. We just want to make sure that the property is returned to its rightful owner.
It will be, and I never had intentions on keeping it this long, honestly. I wanted to give it back to her soon. I was stuck wondering what I should do, and I will give it back to you as soon as I possibly can, Jada.
Okay, so Devin, you have anything to say?
I'm glad that we have come to kind of an agreement, but I think we should go ahead and write our agreement down to make sure everything's clear, so you guys can move on with your friendship, but like in a controlled way. So we can just go.
Now, agreeing to this mediation, you also agreed to keep your side of the solution and, carry out your part. So writing and typing up this agreement is showing that you're committed to making this solution work and that you are willing to, move forward in a positive direction, and that, you agree to these terms because these are what both of you need from the situation.
Right.
So, Jada, you can start and say what do you think you need as in return, kind of.
Okay, I need my cell phone back. I need an apology, and I also need space in order for our friendship to continue and hopefully repair itself back to where it used to be.
Okay, and Sam, what do you need from Jada for her part of the agreement?
I hope that you will understand that I just wanted the best interest for you. I had in mind the best interest for you to just not be involved with the wrong crowd, and that I care about you. And I will give your cell phone back, and I'll write you an apology in paper. But I will also give you space as well. But I just want you to understand how my intentions were, and that I truly care for you as a friend. I hope that you can come talk to me with anything that you feel that you need to. But I understand that you need your space now.
Okay, so we hear that you both kind of have the same needs and the same, side of the agreement. You both agree to, understand each other's perspectives, give each other space for, to let time heal itself, and just for the friendship to slowly come back together.
Right.
Okay.
I agree.
So, if this agreement is not being followed through by either of the parties, or if one of the parties involved tells somebody else outside the party not keeping up the mediation agreement, you guys can all come back and talk to us. We can rewrite this agreement and possibly, if needed, redo the mediation. But we'd really like you guys to do your best to keep the agreement. We'll be checking up with you in a week, make sure everything's going well. See if both Jada and Sam are holding up their part of the agreement, so that the friendship or the acquaintanceship or however you call it will get back to normal, so that you guys can keep going on and be friends.
Okay.
Cool.
Me and so we'll be hearing from you guys soon. How does that go?
Yes, we will, catch up on you guys and see if you both are carrying out your sides of the agreement, and to make sure that, of course, JD, you got your cell phone back, and that, everything is normal as possible, and that you both are content with the outcome of this mediation. Because remember, we're only here to help you guys come to this solution. So we want to make sure that you are carrying out this solution.
Right. And once again, I just want to say that everything here is confidential, including this agreement. So you don't have to, we prefer that you actually don't go and tell your friends about your agreement, that you just let it happen between you two. We won't be telling anybody about the agreement. Nothing came up in the mediation where we felt that we needed to go tell authorities, so we won't be telling anything that happened here. But we really just want to see you guys work this out between each other and not have any third parties involved. So.
Yes, and if anyone came up to you and was like, "Hey, how did the mediation go?" Just say, "We talked it out. There's nothing else to discuss. It's been resolved." Or you can even say, "That's none of your business, or it's not confidential, so I won't break this confidence." So just try and keep it as secretive as possible.
I'd rather less people know.
Absolutely, I agree.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yes.
Okay. If we can both agree, everybody here is in agreement with the agreement that I've typed up, then we can go ahead and close this out. Thank you guys so much for participating, being very mature about this, and really talking everything out and having the truth about it.
Yes, it was very brave of you both to come together in this kind of situation to, work things out like adults. Because, this is the mature thing to do, as Devin said. So we do thank you for your time and for this process.
Right.
Thanks, guys, for listening and helping us out. I appreciate it too.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
guys.
Fantastic. Great job, Evan and David. So, Brenda, can you come back on? Can you turn your video on again?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Brenda, now is the time for you to discuss with all students whatever you want to discuss. Ask them questions. They can ask questions to each other as well. Okay.
Okay.
So the idea is to learn as much as possible out of what happens.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I wanted to start. I thought you guys did so well, and one thing I really liked is when Sam said he kept the phone, that he did have it, that you didn't have any judgment on your face, and you went through it really well. and didn't make that concern like why he did it or what, or made him feel bad about it. Some other notes that I had was I really liked how Devin, after Aaron went through the rules, I liked how you came back, Devin, with saying about clarifying the safety of the rules. So I thought that was really good about making sure that, okay, you know what, yes, it's all confidential, but I think it is important to say if something comes out that is a sort of a safety, that you would have to discuss it with the supervisor. So I think that's really important, and I thought that was really point on. Overall, I really like the way you guys probed each question about the feelings and allowed everybody to explore it. And so I think that was really important, because I felt that both of Sam and Jada had an opportunity to express their feelings. Things that I would suggest was, one thing I wasn't sure about, and that's something to talk with Giuseppe about, Aaron, when you were saying that the meeting could go as long as you need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasn't sure if that is, does it have a time limit or not? So I was concerned about that. Right?
Yeah, I only said that because if we were in a real situation, I wouldn't want them to feel like, well, I'm just going to say whatever I want because this is only going to last 20 minutes anyway. So I wanted them to really be honest and be open. And so if you give them, you say, hey, you have this much time, you take as much time as you need, it makes them feel safe. And it doesn't make them have any there's no pressure on them. So I did it for that. I knew in the back of my mind that we only had like 30 minutes, but I didn't want to be like, well, the time's running out. So I did it for their benefit.
And I guess that's something would have to be discussed, because I get what you're saying, but then at the same time, if it goes over, then how do you close it? Or maybe from the beginning say, a suggestion was, because you guys are talking about having the second meeting afterwards for the follow-up. So you can say, well, we'll take as much maybe as time as we need it. And, if it takes a few sessions, so you don't actually have to say a time limit, then maybe we might have to do a couple of sessions. So this way you're not boxed into a time, but you're still giving the idea that they have more time by having an extra session if needed. So I'm not sure if that works, but maybe that's the suggestion that I have.
Brenda,
Mm-hmm.
If I can make an observation here.
Yeah.
We have not discussed any fixed length or duration of the mediation. So usually it's 30 minutes. In any event, if the disputants agree to come back to mediation, for another session, the co-mediators, instead of writing the settlement agreement at the end, they could write up the agenda for the next meeting with the same technique. So the parties know what they need to do before getting back together. Okay?
Yeah.
That is something that we have not done, but it's the same technique. Instead of writing the agreement, you write agenda for the next mediation session. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can write, before we meet together, Jada will do this and Sam will do this by a certain day. Okay?
Yeah, I think that's really good. And then, like I said, I really liked how at the end of it, you guys handled how you would talk to the friends. I think that was really important, because I think when you go out, it's all confidential, but then everybody knows about it. And so everybody's going to ask. So I think that was really good that you guys mentioned that, okay, when someone asks, this is how you should deal with it, because that's going to happen. So I know it was last session when I was involved, you guys hadn't do it. So this time when you guys mentioned it, I thought that was really good, because that's something, as for me, if I was there, like, oh, it's confidential, but you know what? I just told my best friend all this stuff. Now what do I say? So when you guys say something like that, I think it really, when you walk out, they're sort of prepared of how to deal with things. So that was really good. And what else did I have? I really like your praise. The only thing I was going to say, when you do the agreement, maybe have a date on it, on your agreement, right? And then the other thing was the time limit of returning the phone. Because I know Sam said, well, I'll do it as soon as possible. So sometimes what his as soon as possible and what Jada as soon as possible might be different. So maybe establish, okay, Sam, when are you going? Maybe hold him accountable to a date. So when you do the follow-up meeting and check it, you actually had a date that he was supposed to do it. So then you can be like, well, did you deliver it by this date? And maybe they can agree to a time or place that they can exchange the phone through mediation, because then at least that solves and it's just not open-ended, right? And so really, I mean, otherwise I think it was just, really it's just small stuff. I mean, most of it's all just really good. I like how you guys asked things directly, looked at them, answered questions, and yeah, I think that's about it. I think, I don't know if anybody else, Karen or Christina, if you guys have anything to add. I think those are my few concerns, and that's it.
Karen and Christina, if you wanted to come back on, just turn your video on. And Cindy, you can do the same as well, of course. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Good, good. Yeah, this is so fun to see, and it's just so different than the kinds of problems that our students get into. So thank you, Brenda, for taking careful notes and offering very specific pieces of advice that are connected. It's nice, nice job, but it's really helpful when you can exactly say, this was helpful, keep doing that. This was helpful, keep doing that. You know, think about this. So that's wonderful, and I hope all of our mentors will do that. Keep good notes so that it's specific and not too general in the feedback. So yeah, one of the comments I wanted to make about the property, an issue of property, and I don't want to get in the weeds on the kind of conflict, but I loved what you said, Erin, when you mentioned that normally we have to involve law enforcement with a property issue. And I don't know, Cindy, you'll know more with high school, if that's something maybe that comes up, you know, early on to say, well, we're going to take this to mediation. We understand it's property. If it is not resolved, we may need to involve law enforcement or something. I don't know.
Well, what we would probably do, Karen, is that in the initial intake, when we go to speak to the students, we would find out if it were a property issue, and we would address at that time with them what the specific guidelines are at school with property.
I see.
So they would have already known about this. And then at that point, they would have to agree or disagree, like, okay, yeah, I'll come. But they would know ahead of time.
Okay, good,
Mm-hmm.
good. Because I thought that was really smart on your part, Erin, to say, well, you know, we've got a problem here.
I have just a little bit of real life experience, so.
Very good. Excellent. And then Devin, I liked how you invited the disputants to get in the head of their, you know, the person that they were in conflict with. So how does he feel? How does she feel? So that was, I think that was some feedback that had come through other times. So you took that and you ran with it instead. So how does Sam feel? Sam, how does Jada feel about this? So that I think that was an important piece of practice to do. So, and Christina, this is so new for you. I mean, not the process, of course, but fun to see these experienced, fabulous high schoolers do this stuff?
Yeah, this is fantastic. You guys did a great job. I'm here as I'm just watching it all right now, so I'm just amazed. And I'm excited because I have a sense. I have a question. The disputants, do you feel comfortable in this process?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, does it feel more natural to you than?
Well, it's kind of it's personal, it's up close and everything like that, but you also have to understand that there's no actual threat with this process. So
yeah, there's no actual threat. No, I thought it and with what Brenda and with Karen was sharing, I thought you guys did a great job. I was trying to think I wrote down some notes. I really liked at the end, because Erin, and I heard it from Devin too, the two of you really affirmed the disputants, especially with, is it Sam? Is that right? Okay, Sam, because that was a very vulnerable spot when he said, I actually have the phone, and you prefaced, I'm going to have to ask a hard question right now. You just set it up so it was gentle and not judgmental. So that was really good. And then at the end, just affirming them both as being in the process. It felt gentle, yeah, because it was very. And then for the dispute, Jada, sharing that, I'm not ready to talk. I don't want to be his friend right now. Those are all real honest things that we've all felt at some point with disappointment with friendships, and just letting that be and not putting any judgment on that is helpful. So your presence as neutrals was, and yet caring neutrals was you hit the target. So that was good. Yeah.
All right. And I think that the co-mediators were really working as a team. They worked very well together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You guys were almost finishing each other's sentences. I like that. And then it'd be like, and to Aaron.
Right.
Because I know, like, Devin established that she was the lead in the beginning, and so, like, I would look at her and I would be like, is she gonna ask a question? Maybe I should ask a question. And so I would, like, make sure that we were kind of on the same page. So, like, through mental telepathy.
Telepathy.
Nice.
Okay. Now, Sam and Jada, or Aaron and David, are there any questions you'd like to ask each other?
Okay, Aaron. Okay, this is just what I thought about. You're not really saying that we work as a team, okay?
Yeah.
But we've been doing mediations for a while. Do you think it would be hard for two mediators who don't usually do mediations to do it together? Because online you can't talk at the same time.
Yeah.
So you have to like wait.
I do, especially if you don't know each other very well and you haven't worked well together. You may, feel pressured to, ask certain questions, or you may feel like you're not carrying your load, or you're not, doing enough. Because I remember whenever I first started, I would just kind of sit back and let the other mediator take the role, and I would just be like, maybe I have a question, maybe. And so, once you get to know someone, you start working with them more, you get more comfortable, and it makes the disputants feel more comfortable. So, yeah, I think it would be harder for someone if they didn't really know each other. Mm-hmm. But Jada and Sam, you both, were so good. I was feeling the emotions and everything, and I was really trying to stay neutral. It was really hard. I was trying not to crack a tear, but
I don't have any questions, but Sam, you are the bomb.com. You're great. This is really cool. Because I was a little worried. We didn't really actually discuss what the topic was. I knew what it was because of the email. But when I was making up the scenario, I really did appreciate the fact that you didn't shoot it down. You were rolling with it, and then you had this plot twist that you had the phone. I was like, ooh, this is juicy. I was like, this is great.
I wanted to keep it entertaining, but at the same time as go what you were going with and what you were comfortable as well. And I was trying to get a gist of that before we delved into it. And then you did a very good job on that as well, kind of hinting to me as to how you wanted it to go. And I appreciate that.
Thanks. I wanted it to be like you guys said. This one not as Jay was dramatic, but a little more sensitive. This is more of a way sensitive thing. It's someone's property. This is somebody's memories, someone's contact list. Homework assignments on this little electronic device, and that's what I was trying to get out of the whole thing. Something a little more realistic.
And also the way that we made it as between that we'd been friends for a while, and that I was more curious about what you were doing in the meantime of me making sure you're not hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
Like how Devin and I balance off of each other, you guys really bounced off of each other because he would say something and you would actually say almost the exact same thing. It was like you guys were really feeling it, and it felt really real. And whenever you said you had the phone, I felt in my cheek I wanted to smile, but I was like, I can't because I had to stay neutral. I was like, oh, I knew it.
Yeah. Well, it was just because I was gonna go into more depth of no, I did. I said I didn't steal it because I was gonna give it back. I was just borrowing it.
Right.
Yes, it was really good.
Okay, a couple of final thoughts. I'm going to produce the video of this. So in the next couple hours, you will receive the video, okay? And as you know, we'll also love to get your feedback. So we're going to send you a link to our online survey. Tell us what you liked, and so on. Okay, Cindy, I was thinking, because it seems that your students are pretty ready and very good, okay? If you want, we can, instead of having a dispute with 2 disputants, perhaps you can come up with a dispute with 3 disputants.
Okay.
To make it even more.
Allow that in our world. That's like, psh, no way.
No, it's not possible.
But I mean, this is why I've got to learn from you guys.
Yeah, we have done, we have done some very complex mediations where we've done conflict mapping to find out who the source of the conflict was. So we have done that before.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Guys, are y'all willing to do something more complex?
Yeah, it's like bringing up memories.
Yeah, because it seems to me that they are all very, I say, experienced, motivated, okay, and this is the right place to test something new, to do something new.
Okay, we will do that.
It's entirely up to you, but I think that you already have a level of experience and knowledge which is sufficient for going a step even farther. But it's up to you, Cindy.
Yeah.
And
we'd be willing. Could I add something on the agreement, Giuseppe?
Oh,
sure.
good.
I think, guys, you did a great job. I really love to be able to put the agreement on the screen and type it up. I think that's so powerful. And I love the way you got the needs of the disputants. Now, when we're writing the agreements, I think it'd be, and guys, you add to this as well, experienced mediators, I think it would be better if we put it in the words of the disputants. I am going to, instead of the agreement is that other person needs to. So in the future going forward, I would like to see that language used. What do you guys think, Giuseppe, Karen, Christina?
That's with our little guys.
Right.
Yes.
What are you going to do to hear this moment? Yeah.
And I know sometimes we get into it and we're like, okay, I got to pull these needs out because needs are important. But I think when after we pull the needs out, and you certainly can write those down, have them say what I am going to do and write that out.
Yeah, and it should follow for the mediator. So what, who, when, and that would have helped with the cell phone. So what will be given to Jada at this time? That makes it very clear, to Brenda's point, for the kind of the ambiguity of that. So yeah, that tightens things up.
And that's when we talked about having that Google form that we just pull it up and we just put the information in. I think that's where that would be very helpful. And this is the only way we learn that is by doing it to see what's helpful.
All right.
That's the only thing I have to say. But great job, guys.
Fantastic.
Thank you for
I was gonna mention something, going back to whenever Devin and I were listing the ground rules and stuff, I always forget to say, no other electric devices and phones and stuff, because I caught myself, looking down a couple times trying to look at my phone, but then I'm like, I can't, it's a distraction. And I feel like we really need to make that important, because whenever we do real life mediations, that's like the #1 rule. But then whenever you're online, it's just like you kind of forget some of that since you're not face to face in the same room. And that's like another important thing that we should hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking notes on my phone and I threw it on my bed because I was like, I don't want to touch this while I'm talking to y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, Erin, since you mentioned that, another thing that you could add in the opening statement is to ask the disputants that they agree that they will not video or audio record the mediation. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
That's fine. Okay.
Right.
All right. So, it was great as usual. So you will receive the link to the video next couple hours and the link to our exit survey. And I look forward to see you again on Wednesday, right? 2 days from now.
And Jada, you said you can't be with us on Wednesday,
I'm gonna
right?
miss you guys. Not this Wednesday. I'm so sorry.
Okay. And I might have a little issue as well because I am training for youth mental health first aid, and I finished training at 5 o'clock. So is that going to be a problem?
What do you mean it's going to be a problem? It's going to be a problem, what, if we start late?
For me to, yeah, if I because I'm going to have to get to the computer and get on.
Well, we can start half an hour later. So instead of 5 p.m. your time, we'll start at 5:30 p.m.
Guys, does that work for y'all? Devin, Aaron?
Yeah, it's fine for me. I don't have anything else.
Okay. And Jada, were you supposed to mediate on Wednesday?
I was, and the reason I can't have work, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No, it's okay. Okay, so Devin or Aaron, can I get one of y'all to team up with Derek?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I need to find a disputant. So, Sam, if you don't have anything to do on Wednesday,
Yeah.
we'd love to have you again because you really did a good job.
You
Okay.
did. It was really good.
Okay.
All right.
And what's the case on Wednesday? Is it social media?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right.
The social media.
So we'll see each other Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then can we have that Google form? I know you guys are more skilled with that than I am in terms of making a Google form that people could get on to do the report or the.
I can make it.
Okay.
Which report?
Or the agreement. The agreement.
Yeah, I'm gonna create one.
Okay, because we do have some documents in our Dropbox that are agreements that I think that we've gotten from you. So, I don't know if that's easier to just pull that one up, but if you have the ability to make something that's more flexible or.
Well, the Google form will allow them to put the information in. The forms that we have will not.
And
Okay.
then, Dr. Morton, do you think maybe you can do the same with like an intake form? Because if you send like the intake form in an email or something before the mediation, it would help a lot for the mediators. So then we know exactly, what was the problem. So then, because I know at the beginning we asked, what was the problem. So it would just help if we had a little bit more of background information.
Okay. All right. I'll make one up for the next one. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll see each other Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll send you the link to the video in the next couple hours.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Brenda, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everybody.